Most men don't realize they're aging until their energy disappears, their focus fades, and their life starts feeling heavy for no clear reason. And what if I told you doctors now say just 3 minutes a day can slow that process down? Most men don't feel like they're aging, they feel like they're fading. Not older, just quieter inside, like something is leaking out of them every day. Energy, hunger, sharpness, and no one ever told them when it started. Look around. You wake up tired, not from work, from life. Your body still moves, but your mind drags its feet. And the strange part? You're young. You're supposed to feel powerful, but instead, you feel delayed, like life is buffering. No one warns you that aging doesn't always arrive with gray hair. Sometimes it arrives as distraction, as noise, as comfort, as a life that never quite demands anything from you. Pause. When was the last time you felt fully awake? Not entertained, not stimulated, awake. When was the last time silence didn't scare you? Doctors don't talk about this part. They talk about years, cells, numbers. But aging doesn't start in the body. It starts when effort disappears. It starts when you stop doing small, uncomfortable things that remind you you're alive. It starts when your days require nothing from you. And slowly, very slowly, you soften. You don't notice it happening. That's the danger. You think you're resting, but you're actually rusting. You scroll, you snack, you delay. You tell yourself you'll lock in soon. Soon becomes next month, next year, someday. And one day you wake up and realize something terrifying. Nothing is wrong, but nothing is right either. That emptiness, that fog, that's not depression. That's decay without pain. That's aging without wrinkles. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. If someone watched your daily life on mute, would they see a man building something or a man passing time? Be honest, because your body already knows the answer. Your body keeps score. Every time you choose comfort over resistance, every time you avoid effort, every time you numb instead of feel, your nervous system adapts, not upward, downward. This is the part no one tells young men. You don't lose your edge all at once. You trade it for ease, for speed, for cheap dopamine, and the trade feels fair until it doesn't. There's a reason you feel older than you are. Your body is bored, your mind is overstimulated, your spirit is underused. That combination ages men faster than time ever could. Think about it. Your ancestors didn't age because of birthdays. They aged because they stopped moving, stopped hunting, stopped fighting friction. The human system was designed for challenge. Remove challenge, and the system rots quietly. Now here's the twist most people miss. The solution isn't intensity. It's not punishment. It's not motivation videos screaming at you. It's something far more uncomfortable. 3 minutes. That's it. 3 minutes done correctly can reverse the direction you're headed. Not because of magic, because of signal. Your body doesn't need hours to change. It needs proof. Proof that you're still dangerous to comfort. Proof that you can choose discomfort on command. Proof that you're not asleep at the wheel. Doctors call them exercises. But they're not about muscles. They're about time. They slow aging because they slow escape. They force you to stay. Stay in your body. Stay in the moment. Stay with discomfort without reaching for relief. And most men fail at them, not because they're hard, because they're quiet. The first one doesn't look impressive. No sweat, no audience, no validation. Just you, standing still, breathing, and feeling everything you've been running from. Your thoughts get loud here. Your excuses show up. Your mind starts bargaining. This is pointless. This isn't doing anything. I could be doing something more productive. That voice, that's the voice that's been aging you. The voice that panics when there's no stimulation. The voice that needs constant input to feel alive. And for 3 minutes, you don't obey it. You stand, you breathe slowly, deeper than comfort, slower than impatience. You feel your heartbeat. You feel tension rise. You don't fix it. You stay. And something strange happens. Your nervous system recalibrates, not dramatically, subtly, like a compass correcting itself. You remember what presence feels like. Most men can't do this for 3 minutes. They say they're busy, but what they mean is they're addicted to movement, addicted to noise, addicted to running from stillness, because stillness reveals truth about how disconnected they've become from their own body. That's why this works. Aging speeds up when awareness disappears. This slows it down by bringing you back, but that's only the first signal. The second one is physical, but not in the way you expect. It's not about max effort. It's about tension, controlled, deliberate, uncomfortable. You hold your body in strain, not to show strength, but to remind your system what strength feels like. No music, no phone, no distraction, just tension and breath. Your muscles shake slightly. Your mind looks for an exit, and again, you don't take it. You stay for seconds that feel longer than they are. This does something powerful. It tells your biology, I still choose effort. Aging accelerates when effort becomes optional. This reverses that message. And the third one is the hardest because it has nothing to do with the body. It's about denial. 3 minutes where you remove something. No input, no stimulation, no consumption, just silence. And your thoughts. This is where most men realize how loud their inner world has become. Regret shows up, fear, unfinished dreams. You see the gap between who you are and who you told yourself you'd be. And here's the key. You don't judge it. You don't fix it. You witness it. Aging isn't just physical decline. It's the slow abandonment of self-honesty. This exercise restores it, 3 minutes at a time. That's why doctors recommend these things quietly. They don't sell well. They don't look impressive on camera, but they work because they restore something modern life steals. Agency, not control over the world, control over yourself. And when a man regains that, aging slows, not because time stops, but because life comes back online. You feel sharper, hungrier, more here. This is only the beginning. In the next part, we'll go deeper into why these 3 minutes feel harder than an hour at the gym, and why that's exactly why they work. For now, sit with this. If you can't give 3 honest minutes to your own body and mind, what does that say about who's really in control of your life? Don't answer yet. Just notice the silence after the question. That silence, that's where everything starts again. There's a reason those 3 minutes feel heavier than an hour of distraction. Because distraction is light. It floats you away from yourself. Effort pins you down inside your own skin. Most men today are not weak. They're unanchored. Their attention is everywhere. Their body is somewhere else. Their mind never fully arrives. That's why they feel tired without doing much. Why rest doesn't restore them. Why sleep doesn't feel like sleep anymore. They're never fully here long enough to recharge. Aging speeds up when your system lives in fragments. Half present, half engaged, always elsewhere. Those 3 minutes force something radical. They force unity, body, breath, attention, no escape routes. And the moment you remove escape, truth shows up. That's what most men are actually avoiding. Not work, not effort, truth. Truth about how often they choose ease. Truth about how rarely they do hard things on purpose. Truth about how long they've been waiting for motivation to rescue them. Let me ask you something. When did you start negotiating with discomfort? When did you stop seeing resistance as a signal and start seeing it as a warning sign? At some point, you learned this lie. If it feels uncomfortable, something is wrong. But that lie ages men faster than alcohol, sugar, or stress ever could. Because discomfort is not damage. It's data. It's your nervous system saying, pay attention, adapt, grow. When you ignore that signal long enough, your system stops sending it. And that's when real aging begins. Not the kind you see in the mirror, the kind you feel in your posture, your voice, your hesitation, the way you hesitate before committing, the way you hesitate before starting, the way you hesitate before becoming dangerous to your old habits. 3 minutes feels hard because it exposes that hesitation. You're not fighting the exercise. You're fighting the part of you that's been avoiding yourself. That's why the mind resists so loudly. It throws logic at you, excuses, sarcasm. This won't change anything. This is stupid. Why bother? But that voice never shows up when you're scrolling. It never questions wasted hours. It only attacks moments that might wake you up, because awakening threatens comfort. And comfort is what has been aging you. Think about this. Your body doesn't actually fear effort. It fears unpredictability. Modern life removed unpredictability. Food is always available. Entertainment is endless. Comfort is one tap away. Your nervous system adapted to a world that no longer demands much from it. And systems that are not demanded decay. That's biology. Those 3 minutes reintroduce demand, not chaos, not stress. Demand, a controlled signal that says, I am still the kind of man who can stay. Stay with breath, stay with tension, stay with silence, and staying changes something deep. It rebuilds trust between you and yourself. Right now, if you're honest, that trust is cracked. You tell yourself you'll wake up early, then you don't. You tell yourself you'll focus, then you drift. You tell yourself you'll start, then you delay. Each broken promise ages you a little, not visibly, internally. You start seeing yourself as someone who talks but doesn't follow through. And once that identity settles in, motivation dies. Because motivation doesn't visit men who don't trust themselves. These 3 minutes repair that trust, not through grand gestures, through proof, daily, quiet, unimpressive. And that's why they work when everything else fails. Let's slow this down. The first minute teaches you presence. The second teaches you tolerance. The third teaches you restraint. Presence brings you back into your body. Tolerance expands your capacity for effort. Restraint restores authority over impulse. Those 3 qualities slow aging more than any supplement ever will, because aging is not just cellular, it's behavioral. Men age when they stop choosing themselves over impulse, when the phone decides their attention, when cravings decide their actions, when moods decide their discipline. And the scary part? You don't feel it happening. You just feel less sharp, less driven, less alive, until one day you realize you've been busy, but not building, occupied, but not advancing, alive, but not living. That realization hurts. And most men run from it. They change videos, change habits superficially, change goals, but they never change their relationship with discomfort. So nothing actually changes. These 3 minutes do, because they don't ask you to believe anything. They ask you to endure something. Belief is cheap. Endurance rewires the system. Every time you stay when you want to escape, your nervous system learns something new. I can handle this. That sentence alone reverses years of quiet decline. You start standing differently, breathing differently, choosing differently. Not because you're hyped, because you're grounded. And grounded men age differently. They don't rush. They don't panic. They don't chase validation. They move with weight. And weight is what time respects. Here's the shift most men miss. You don't need to add more. You need to subtract escape. That's it. Less noise, less numbing, less running. 3 minutes where you refuse relief. And the rest of your day begins to change without force. You feel less scattered, less impulsive, more deliberate. That's not motivation. That's alignment. And alignment slows decay. In the next part, we're going to confront the real reason men stop doing these 3 minutes, even after they feel the difference. It's not laziness. It's fear of what shows up when the noise finally dies. Sit with that, because the version of you you've been avoiding, he's not weak. He's been waiting, and time hasn't erased him yet. Not if you're still listening. Most men don't quit because the exercises stop working. They quit because the exercises start working. Because after a few days of those 3 minutes, something shifts, the noise drops, the fog thins, and suddenly you can hear yourself again. That's when the danger begins. Not danger from effort, danger from truth. You start noticing things you've been avoiding for years. The relationship you've outgrown, the job that drains you, the dream you keep pretending doesn't matter anymore. Silence does that. It removes your hiding places. And when a man sees his life clearly, he has 2 options: change or distract himself back into sleep. Most choose sleep, not because they're weak, because awakening comes with responsibility. If you can see clearly, you can't keep lying to yourself. You can't keep blaming time or luck or circumstances. You realize something unsettling. You haven't been lost. You've been numb, and numbness ages men faster than stress ever could. Stress at least means you care. Numbness means you've checked out. Those 3 minutes threaten numbness. They bring sensation back online, emotion, memory, desire, and that's overwhelming at first. You feel regret surface, moments you wasted, chances you didn't take, words you swallowed. Your chest tightens, your jaw clenches, and the old instinct kicks in. Make this stop. Reach for the phone, turn on music, find something to drown it out. That's the moment that matters. Because if you stay, if you breathe through it, if you let the discomfort rise and fall without escaping, you experience something rare: relief without stimulation, calm without avoidance, strength without performance. Your nervous system learns a final lesson. I don't need to run anymore. And that lesson changes how you age. From that point on, effort doesn't feel hostile. Silence doesn't feel threatening. Being alone with yourself doesn't feel like punishment. It feels like home. This is why the exercises are only 3 minutes. any longer, and men would turn them into another performance, another identity, another ego game. 3 minutes keeps it honest. 3 minutes keeps it raw. 3 minutes strips the story down to one question. Can you stay? Not forever, not heroically. Just stay. Stay when your legs want to move. Stay when your thoughts want to scatter. Stay when your emotions surface without permission. Because staying is the muscle that modern life never trains. And untrained muscles atrophy. That's aging, not years passing, capacity shrinking, capacity for focus, for restraint, for patience, for meaning. Those capacities don't decline because of time. They decline because of avoidance. And they rebuild the same way they were lost, quietly, consistently, without applause. Here's the realization that settles in after weeks of these minutes. You stop asking, how do I find my purpose? And start asking, what am I willing to suffer for? Purpose isn't found in comfort. It's forged in chosen difficulty. Small difficulty, daily difficulty, difficulty that doesn't make headlines. That's why aging slows, because your system senses direction again. Not urgency, not panic, direction. And direction gives time meaning. Men who age well aren't rushing. They're aligned. They don't need to prove anything. They don't chase youth. They cultivate presence. Presence sharpens them. Presence steadies them. Presence makes them dangerous in a calm way. You can feel it when a man has it. His words land slower. His eyes don't dart. His body looks settled, not relaxed. Settled. That's the end result of staying with yourself. 3 minutes at a time. No one will congratulate you for this. No algorithm will reward it. No one will notice except you, and that's enough. Because one day, months from now, you'll catch yourself doing something strange. You'll pause before reacting. You'll choose effort without drama. You'll say no without guilt. You'll sit in silence without needing to fill it. And you'll realize you don't feel older anymore. You feel solid, grounded, present. Time still moves, but it doesn't drag you with it. It moves around you. That's how aging slows. Not through denial, not through hacks, through honesty, through staying, through 3 minutes where you refuse to abandon yourself. So don't turn this into a challenge. Don't turn it into a goal. Just make it a meeting, 3 minutes, every day, with the man you've been postponing. He doesn't need motivation. He needs permission to exist again. Give him that, and let time do what it does. You'll be ready for it this time. So when doctors say just 3 minutes, they're not talking about fitness. They're talking about direction. 3 minutes where you breathe instead of escape. 3 minutes where you hold tension instead of avoiding it. 3 minutes where you sit in silence instead of numbing yourself. That's not exercise for the body alone. That's exercise for time itself. Because aging speeds up when you're unconscious, and it slows down the moment you wake up. You don't need more hacks. You don't need more information. You don't need to feel young. You need to feel present. 3 minutes a day is enough to send that signal, enough to remind your body you're still here, enough to remind your mind who's in charge. No supplements, no noise, no performance, just you showing up. And if you can do that today and tomorrow and the day after, time won't disappear, but it will stop stealing from you. That's how aging slows. Not by fighting the clock, but by finally living inside it.